How do
I was like early on, so we're talking the 90s. I did like political correctness, but I think early 2000s I was anticipating that it was going in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because it's like they'll say is and I wrote a book called Lizzie and Me to End Sexual Violence for Women, Children, and Sexual Minorities,
Mm.
and on college campuses, but it ends with it starts with of Lizzie being put in a dangerous situation and being sexually assaulted, and ends
Yeah.
with her being the hero. Um, and I think we're all victors, and we're all victims and victors, or
Mm-hmm.
victims and vickies. Um, we're I think a lot of these places. So on a college campus, the other side of it, not the other side, what they do is they'll say that college campuses have a rape culture, worse than anywhere in the world, which I don't believe that.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, and shit, one rape is freaking horrible,
Mm-hmm.
but they'll say the rape culture. They'll start this from cat calls,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll do a lot of things from a lower level, that what you're doing is you're not bringing people to your side, you're like pushing people away. Cat calls, not necessarily cancel.
Mm-hmm.
We can't put Bill Cosby that does what he does, or a Harvey Weinstein, as the same thing as cat calls.
Yeah.
We need to find a way to say, because
Exactly.
some people deserve to be canceled.
Exactly. I just read an interesting article about pornography. It's a very touchy subject, and
No pun intended.
yeah, yeah, and they say that the majority of pornography is violence against women. And so it was like, well, who came up with this high statistic, something like 70 to 80% of porn that you see? I don't see it when I scroll and look through porn. Well, what is the term? What was the term that they used, terminology for violence? It got down to the point where slapping a woman on the butt was considered violent. Talking to her in a degrading way was violence. They got to the point where just about everything fell under violence, where true violence should have been put aside. Violence is violence. But to me, if the woman wants you to slap her on the butt, that is not a violent act.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's the definition, like you're saying, of that. What is it? And we need to have that discussion where it's just going, no, that was violent. No, well, maybe that wasn't violent. Let's talk about what violent is and the steps to getting there. And I think just like sexuality and the male aggression, or the male sexualizing a woman, do male sexualize women? I don't know how I am not sexualizing women in a way, but is it a derogatory way, or is it an empowerment, kind, loving way, or is it part of the humanity to look at a woman and go, wow, she's beautiful. I would like to lay next to her. Is that bad?
And
So where do we draw that line?
and also at the same time, why that conversation's going on and being canceled, we have the woman that you're talking at this table with,
Hmm.
that talk to all her friends that they're not respecting men.
Yes.
And is there something biology wise, with consent, to wanting to be spanked on the butt or whatever, that
Yeah.
guys are like hesitant to do that? Because I've come across women that, no, I don't want you to ask me for stuff, but that's consent right there
Ex-
to a
ex-
certain extent. But sometimes am I just supposed to? I've got a strong intuition, and
mhm.
most of the times I'm right on with reading women. But sometimes they want something, but they don't want something.
Yeah.
So that's why consent is important.
Exactly. And communication.
Yeah, yeah.
It's mainly communication and the dance. And the dance is, I mean, every other creature on this planet. You watch the Discovery Channel on mating, it's going to blow you away what goes on in there. And we think men think women are complicated. Look at all the other species and the dances they go through and the things they have to create, like art and their feathers. And I was just reading a great article about the wren, the bird, the wren. And when mating season comes, the average male wren will build up to 14 different nests. And then when the women are ready to mate, they will go with the males and tour all of the nests. And she'll tour with dozens of males. She'll look at over 100 houses and determine which one she wants to have the babies in. And it's like, guys, it's the way it is.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating, but she is laying eggs, and the animal in her knows that the whole thing is to raise these eggs in the most, so I mean, it's natural. It's natural. And the same thing for the guy to want to be the guy that has, carries on his genes, and it's, we got to figure this thing out.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things you were talking about earlier about somebody being asexual, and the purpose we are here is to multiply. Do you agree with that?
And that I don't know what I think about that. I know that the planet is getting overpopulated at some point, and so there's the good aspect of it is that, yeah, we need to slow down and we need to be more conscious about that. But the desire to do it, I don't think you can override that, because I don't know. If our purpose is not to pair up and to multiply and to make love and to do that dance, and we replace it with materialism and ego, we got to be careful of that. I don't know if I like that better. Now, maybe once again, I'm talking old-fashioned, where I like the purpose more about family and partnership than about
maybe this will. That's like,
yeah.
I'm as a straight male, I'm don't plan on getting married, don't plan on having any kids, but my multiplying is doing projects. My multiplying is helping other people. My legacy is helping other people build their legacy, and collaborating on that. That's where that energy is for me. Yeah. And I think where it runs into a problem when somebody's just having kids because society says that is success.
Yeah. And I guess I would say, if you can figure out, what do you do with touch? What do you do with knowing you're valued and you're loved? If you can take that out of an old nuclear family and replace it with something, but I think those are needs. I look at the fact is, why are dogs and pets now to the point? When a person replaces a human with a pet, I think what they're doing is replacing a need. That dog is giving them unconditional love. When they come home after a bad day, that dog is there and they feel good. It's a replacement for a human. I don't know. I know the dog people are going to kill me on this, but I understand it. Personally, I like a human. I want to come home to a human, or I want to, and like you, I don't know if I would be able to do a relationship again where I live with someone or get married to somebody. I like the freedom of doing these things, but I still want friends and lovers and girlfriends. I love talking on the phone when somebody's having a bad day and a girl calls me up and goes, I'm having a bad day, talk to me, or let's have dinner together. I love that. I know that I matter, and I know that I'm loved, and that I give something. I need purpose. I need to give. And I feel that the male can help balance the female, and the female really can help balance the male.
Yeah.
And the aggression. So as long as you're getting those needs met and I'm getting those needs met, it doesn't have to look like a traditional relationship at all.
Yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, it's important that you're not forcing it in any way or making your whole life a resistance to what you don't like.
Yeah.
Unless it's moving you towards something that's more powerful, beautiful, and creative.
Yeah.